Deep in the heart of India, a legend was born. This legend did not speak of gods or heroes, but of a creature whose very existence sent shivers down the spines of those who heard its name. It was a tale that would be passed down through generations, a story that would haunt the dreams of many, not of gods and heroes, but of a creature of chilling ferocity. This was no ordinary beast. It was a tiger, but not just any tiger. It was a tiger that had developed a taste for human flesh, a predator that had become a man-eater. The Champawat Tiger, a predator whose name echoed with fear and dread, a name synonymous with death itself. This tiger was responsible for the deaths of over 400 people, making it one of the deadliest man-eaters in recorded history. The mere mention of its name was enough to send waves of panic through entire villages. This was no ordinary tiger. This was a man-eater, a beast that had developed a taste for human blood. It was cunning and elusive, able to strike without warning and disappear into the dense jungle before anyone could react. The Champawat Tiger was a master of stealth, a ghost in the night. Its story is not for the faint of heart, a tale woven from the fabric of nightmares. The tiger's attacks were brutal and merciless, leaving behind a trail of blood and sorrow. Families were torn apart, and entire communities lived in constant fear of the next attack. The Champawat Tiger terrorized the foothills of the Himalayas for years. It roamed the forests and villages, always on the hunt for its next victim. The people of the region were trapped in a nightmare, unable to escape the shadow of the tiger. It stalked villages, its presence a suffocating blanket of fear. The tiger was always watching, always waiting for the perfect moment to strike. No one was safe, and the fear was palpable. The villagers lived in a state of constant anxiety, never knowing when the tiger would appear. Women were afraid to tend their fields. The once bustling farmlands became deserted as the fear of the tiger kept everyone indoors. The fields, which were the lifeblood of the community, lay fallow and untended. The tiger's reign of terror had brought life to a standstill. Men dared not venture out alone. Even the bravest among them were hesitant to leave the safety of their homes. They moved in groups armed with spears and torches, but even these precautions were often not enough to protect them from the tiger's deadly ambushes. Children were haunted by nightmares of glowing eyes in the dark. The stories of the tiger's attacks were told and retold, each time becoming more terrifying. The children, too young to fully understand, were the most affected. Their dreams were filled with images of the tiger, its eyes glowing in the darkness, always watching, always waiting. The tiger's reign was one of absolute terror. It was a time of fear and uncertainty, a dark chapter in the history of the region. The Champawat Tiger was not just a predator, it was a force of nature, a living nightmare that left an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those who lived through its reign of terror. The early 1900s, a time of great change and upheaval, where the world was on the brink of modernity, yet still deeply rooted in its past traditions. The streets were bustling with horse-drawn carriages, and the air was filled with the sounds of a world in transition, a time when the British Empire stretched across the globe, its influence felt in every corner of the world. The Union Jack fluttered proudly over vast territories, symbolizing the might and reach of an empire that never saw the sun set. Its reach extended to the furthest corners of India, a land of rich history and diverse cultures. The British presence was evident in the grand colonial architecture and the meticulously drawn maps that marked their dominion. Nestled amongst the towering peaks of the Himalayas lay the Champawat district of Kumaon. This remote region, with its breathtaking vistas and rugged terrain, seemed a world away from the bustling cities and colonial centers. Here, life was harsh but simple. The villagers, resilient and resourceful, carved out a living in the shadow of the mighty mountains. Their days were filled with the toil of daily tasks, each one a testament to their enduring spirit. Villagers lived off the land, their lives intrinsically linked to the rhythms of nature. They farmed the fertile soil, gathered from the forest, and relied on the bounty of the land to sustain them through the changing seasons. The air was crisp and clean, the scent of pine needles heavy in the air. The forests, dense and teeming with life, provided a sanctuary from the outside world, a place where time seemed to stand still. Terraced fields clung to the steep hillsides, a testament to the resilience of the people. These fields, painstakingly carved into the mountains, were a marvel of agricultural ingenuity, allowing the villagers to grow crops in an otherwise inhospitable terrain. But this idyllic setting held a dark secret. The dense forests that surrounded the villages were not just a source of life and sustenance, but also a place of lurking danger. It was a land stalked by a deadly predator. The majestic yet fearsome tiger, a creature of both awe and terror, roamed these forests, its presence a constant reminder of the fragile balance between man and nature. The Champawat tiger was no ordinary predator. It had abandoned the natural order, its hunger driving it to hunt the most dangerous game man. Why it turned to human prey is a matter of speculation. Some whispered of a scarcity of natural prey, others of a wound that made hunting difficult. Whatever the reason, the tiger's behavior was unusual, aberrant. It displayed a chilling cunning, a calculated brutality that set it apart from its kind. Its attacks were swift and merciless, leaving behind a trail of grief and despair. The death toll climbed steadily. 430 souls, men, women, and children, each life extinguished in a terrifying instant, a grim testament to the tiger's reign. The beast seemed unstoppable, a phantom menace that struck without warning and vanished like smoke. The villagers lived in a perpetual state of fear. The tiger's presence hung over them like a curse. The once familiar forest had become a place of dread, the rustling of leaves a harbinger of death. Section 5. Whispers in the trees. Word of the Champawat tiger spread far and wide. Stories of its ferocity reached the ears of the British authorities. Hunters were dispatched, their rifles loaded with the hope of stopping the killings. But, the tiger proved elusive. It was as if it could smell the fear, sense the danger posed by these would-be slayers. The jungle whispered with the tiger's passing, but it gave up its secrets reluctantly. The hunters returned empty-handed, their tales adding to the growing legend of the Champawat man-eater. Section 6. Enter the hunter. Enter Jim Corbett, a name synonymous with courage, conservation, and a deep understanding of the wild. Corbett was no ordinary hunter. He was a man who walked the fine line between admiration and respect for the creatures he hunted. He was a skilled tracker, a patient observer, and a crack shot. When others spoke of the tiger with fear and hatred, Corbett spoke of a creature driven to desperation. He saw the tragedy in the tiger's actions, the brokenness that had forced it to turn on mankind. Section 7. A shot in the dark. Corbett's arrival in Champawat was met with a mixture of hope and trepidation. Could this one man succeed where so many others had failed? Corbett knew the task before him was monumental. This was no ordinary hunt. He began by studying the tiger's movements, meticulously piecing together its patterns. He spoke to the villagers, listening to their tales of terror, each account bringing him closer to understanding his quarry. Section 8. Legacy of a Man-Eater. After weeks of relentless tracking, the moment of truth arrived. Corbett finally cornered the tiger. It was a tense standoff, man and beast locked in a battle of wills. A single shot rang out. The reign of terror was over. The villagers rejoiced, their relief palpable. Corbett, however, felt a tinge of sadness. He had slain a monster, but he had also ended a life. The tiger's reign had been a tragedy for both man and beast. Section 9. Lessons from Champawat. The story of the Champawat tiger serves as a chilling reminder of the delicate balance between man and nature. This infamous Bengal tigress, responsible for an estimated 436 human deaths, became one of the most feared and notorious man-eaters in history. Her reign of terror in the early 20th century in the Champawat region of India and Nepal is a stark example of what happens when the natural order is disrupted. It highlights the devastating consequences of ecological disruption. The encroachment of human settlements into the tiger's habitat, coupled with deforestation and hunting, forced the tigress into closer contact with humans. As her natural prey dwindled, she turned to easier targets, humans. This tragic shift underscores the importance of preserving natural habitats and maintaining the balance of ecosystems. The tiger, in its desperation, became a symbol of the price paid when this balance is broken. Her weakened state, likely due to an injury inflicted by a hunter, made hunting her usual prey difficult. This desperation drove her to hunt humans, a behavior that is rare and typically a last resort for tigers. The Champawat tiger's story is a poignant reminder of the unintended consequences of human actions on wildlife. Corbett, through his actions became a champion for both wildlife and the people who lived alongside them. He was not just a hunter, but a conservationist who understood the intricate relationship between humans and nature. His efforts to track and kill the Champawat tiger were driven by a deep sense of responsibility to protect human lives while also recognizing the need to preserve wildlife. His legacy is a testament to the importance of coexistence and the role of humans in safeguarding the natural world. He understood that true conservation requires understanding, empathy, and a deep respect for the natural world. Corbett's work laid the foundation for modern conservation efforts in India, leading to the establishment of national parks and wildlife reserves. His writings and advocacy continue to inspire conservationists around the world, emphasizing that protecting wildlife is not just about saving animals, but about preserving the delicate web of life that sustains us all. The Champawat tiger may be gone, but its story continues to resonate, a cautionary tale etched in the annals of history. It serves as a powerful reminder of the need for balance and respect in our interactions with the natural world. The lessons learned from this tragic episode are more relevant than ever as we face ongoing challenges in wildlife conservation and habitat preservation. The legacy of the Champawat tiger and Jim Corbett endures, urging us to strive for a harmonious coexistence with nature.